Hey everybody, Scorpion here. So this video is going to be on setting up the new LifePower4 V2 batteries with the old LifePower4 batteries and how to do that. So I'm going to go step by step with each hookup and show you each hookup and tell you where it goes and that kind of thing. The only thing I'm not showing is the actual cable and how you have to change it. It's pretty self-explanatory, honestly, it really is. I give you the directions on how to do it, but I don't have a spare cable laying around right now that I can show you with, and I wanted to hook everything up and make sure it worked prior to making this video. So this gives you all the information you need for the new batteries to the old batteries to get them all communicating, everything working like it's supposed to, and get everything up to your inverter and the inverter recognize it as well, and everything to be up and running like it's supposed to. So y'all stick around. Alright, so I started a video on this before and had to pause. So EG4's had some issues with these new LifePower4, I think it's V2 batteries or 2V, something like that. So the new batteries don't want to communicate with the old batteries. So there's a fix for that. It took them a little while to come up with it, a week or two, something like that. And I now have mine fixed. So if you look up here, you've got communication going between the battery to the second battery. So both of those batteries are the new I can't talk, LifePower4 V2s. You've got your connection running up here. So in order to go from the new battery to the older version, that's where the problem comes in. So I'm going to kind of walk y'all through just the hookups for everything, and we'll take it from there. Alright, so a lot of you know I've kind of built a trailer to go to events and laser engrave and stuff like that. So I've installed the EG4 9000 mini split. That's going to be heat and air conditioning. I've got the 6000 XP EG4, and then I've got their batteries, and you can see the lights are on, so I'm running on it right now. As a backup, I installed over here, hopefully you can see it. It's a charger, goes to the bus bars, helps charge the batteries. It's a regular plug, 15 amp plug coming into the charger, and 20 amps coming out of the charger to the batteries. So this is your communications cable that comes from your inverter. It comes down and plugs into the CAN spot here. Your RS485 is good for communications to your computer, laptop, that kind of thing, depending on what you're trying to do. Most time you're updating the firmware or testing the battery, checking the cells, that kind of thing, which, you know, I'd recommend to do probably about every 6 months or so. Just kind of go through everything, make sure everything's good and that kind of thing. So once you have communication down here, you have your battery to battery, and this is the new cable that they sent me. So I go from left to right, and then the next I go left to right again, and then left to right one more time. So that takes care of connecting all the batteries. Now the issue come in for the new battery to the old battery. If you didn't fix the cable, once you turned your BMS on and your battery on, about 5 seconds later it would kick your breaker on the new battery. Because of the communication between the batteries, it felt like it was telling it to do a rapid shutdown. And that was the difference between this battery and this battery, the old to the new. So a fix for that is just strip the wire, you know, not even a 1/4 of an inch, less than that, maybe an 1/8. There's going to be 4 sets of wire inside of that cable. There's going to be a brown white. Each set of wires are twisted together, so it's like a set here, a set here, a set here, and a set here. Alright, so your brown and white is going to be your plugs all the way to the right side, and that's the only thing that you need to communicate between this, the old one, and the new one. So when you cut that open, anything that's not the brown and white wire, you want to cut. I took those wires and folded them up, and I rewrapped it with electrical tape to keep them safe and secure. Not really my favorite way to do it, but it does get it up and running for now. I assume that they will have a later fix for this, but right now that allows them to communicate. You only need those 2 wires. So that allows, as you can see, there's still communication here. It's still running down here. Nothing is an alarm. Before, when you had these 2 hooked together and you cut them on, it would kick the breaker over here and the alarm light would come on saying, you know, there's an issue or problem. So that's your wired connections. Of course, all your black wires on all of them, here and here. So all those run to my bus bar back here, and then all the reds or positives, they all run to the bus bar back on that side. I chose to get different wire, make my cables and my connections and everything, because I wanted to go further. I didn't use what they had. They had a 3 battery rack. They actually didn't have it at the time, so I made my own thing, and I preferred for it to be back here out of the way, where, you know, a little kid or a dog or something wouldn't get in here and hit it and you know, get shocked or something like that. So to me, it's safe back there. Silicone to ends, duct taped everything so the cap won't come off. It's all closed up. There's a little room for some air to go in and out. I left a couple of slots open, but that's pretty much it. So that's all your power, that's all your communication wires. So the only thing that's left is your protocol and your ID. So your first switch on your protocol is for which, it tells the battery which inverter you're using. So I'm using the EG4 battery. This is in the book now. All you gotta do is open the book and look. I'm using the EG4 battery, so the first switch goes down. This is the master battery. This is the one that comes on first. So you're gonna bring this battery up with the BMS, shut it back down, bring it back up. That way it has a chance to reboot itself and know that now it's protocol 1, it's talking with an EG4 inverter. Now, something else that has to be done for these batteries to talk is that last switch has to be down. So you got the first and last switch down for protocol on the master battery. Your second battery, all of them are up except for that last one. You're going to put that one down. And that just keeps your communications good between your batteries. This is going to be the 6-pin or the 6-switch ID. So first one's down for battery number 1. Battery number 2, the second one's down. Alright. Then battery number 3 is the old battery. So that's 2 up and 2 down for number 3. This is number 2. This is number 3. And then number 4, you got 2 down. Number 3 is up and number 4 is down for battery number 4. So we went from the 6-pin ID system to the 4-pin ID system. A little confusing, but again, all that is in the book. If you have any questions, reach out to somebody. So the way I see to turn these batteries on is you're going to flip this little switch here. Give it 3 or 4 seconds, let it come up, read, start blinking a little bit, then turn your breaker on. Same thing, second battery, turn the switch on, give it a few seconds, then flip the breaker on. Then you can wait a few more seconds, come down here, and number 3, you're going to flip your breaker on, and give it a few more seconds, and come down to number 4 and flip that breaker on. So the only thing I have not done is an update to these batteries. My communication cable is on the way. So if we come up here and look, when I was running just the two old batteries, my panel up here told me that I had 200 amp hours of battery. Well, it finally picked it up, 400 amp hours. So it's picking up all 4 batteries now. It took it about 10-15 minutes to get in there and finally pick up all the batteries and figure out what size battery system you got set up and all. So it's now saying I have 400 amp hours. We're running 53.3 volts, putting out 220 for lights and air conditioning. So yeah, so it finally picked them up. But yeah, a little confusing. If you need a video on how to do the cable, I can get a cable and show you how to cut the cable up. But really, there's 4 sets of 2 wires in there. Each set, they're wound around each other. It's that brown and white one that you want to leave hooked up. The rest of them you want to cut. Then the new battery can go to your first old battery. Everything beyond that's fine, just hooking up the cables. And everything above that's fine, just hooking up the cables. But that was the issue that they were having with communications. And you can also, you want to drop that first protocol switch. I'm sorry, that last protocol switch you want down. It'll be switch number 6 on each one of the new batteries. So that helps with the communications as well. So remember, when you turn them on, whichever batteries you master that you're plugged into, get it up and running. Make sure all your switches are right. Cycle that battery on and off a time or 2. That way it changes its protocol and it knows what it's talking to. Once you get it up and running, give it a few seconds. You can come down here and hit the BMS. Give it a couple seconds. Everything starts blinking. Turn your breaker on. A few more seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. You can kick your breaker on number 3. 3 to 5 seconds, kick your breaker on number 4. They're all going to start communicating. It's going to communicate back to here. And again, it's going to take it 5-10 minutes for your inverter to figure out how many amp hours you have on its own. And then your battery amp hours should change. If it doesn't, there is a way to program that. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's in the book. So the only thing left for me to do at this point is just update the firmware on all these batteries, and they'll be good to go. So hope this helps y'all know how to hook up the new LifePower4 battery to the old one. There is not a problem with them communicating or a problem with the batteries. They will work. You just have to know how to set it up and how to do it. And other than that, hope everybody's having a good one. I will try to walk you through the firmware update. I've never done it before, but I'll try to make a video on that so you can see how to set that up. Yeah, update the firmware. See y'all next time.